Picture this. Rain crashing down so hard it feels like the sky has finally given up. Thousands of fans packed into a stadium, soaked to the bone, refusing to move, refusing to blink, because Lady Gaga is right there in front of them, turning a storm into a spectacle. Lights cutting through the rain. Music echoing across Accor Stadium. For a moment, it feels unreal, like one of those nights people talk about for the rest of their lives. Then, in the blink of an eye, everything stops. Not a dramatic pause. Not a planned break. A real stop. The kind that sends a chill through your spine. Welcome to celebrity rap life, where the red carpets never roll up and the spotlight never fades. The rewards are legendary. Because in celebrity rap life, every downfall can become a comeback, and every headline tells a deeper story. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a second of what's coming next. One of Gaga's dancers slips on the rain-soaked stage and tumbles off the edge. No choreography. No safety cue. Just gravity, speed, and fear. In that instant, the fantasy of the concert collides with reality, and everyone in that stadium knows something has gone wrong. Saturday night in Sydney was supposed to be unforgettable for all the right reasons. Fans had traveled from all over Australia and beyond, some lining up early in the morning, some waiting years for the chance to see Mother Monster live. This wasn't just another concert date. This was an event. You could feel it before Gaga even stepped on stage. The outfits were louder than usual. The signs were bigger. The energy was electric in that way that only happens when a crowd knows they're about to witness something special. But nature had its own agenda. The rain wasn't polite. It didn't sprinkle. It poured. Sheets of water came down non-stop, turning the massive stage into a slick, dangerous surface. The kind of surface where one wrong step can change everything. Anyone who's ever slipped on a wet floor understands how fast control disappears. Now imagine performing high-intensity choreography under blinding lights, surrounded by cables, props, platforms, and thousands of eyes watching every move. That was the reality Gaga and her team were dealing with. And still, the show went on. Gaga came out fearless, commanding the stage like only she can. The rain almost added to the drama, transforming the performance into something cinematic. Lights bounced off the water. The crowd screamed louder, almost daring the storm to try harder. The dancers moved with precision, years of training carrying them across a stage that gave them no mercy. For a while, it worked. The storm became part of the story. Until physics reminded everyone who's really in control. The slip happened fast. So fast that some fans didn't fully register it at first. But when the dancer went over the edge of the stage, there was no mistaking it. This wasn't a stumble. This was a fall. The kind that makes your stomach drop, even if you're just watching. Stages aren't forgiving places. Beneath them are hard surfaces, metal structures, equipment, and sharp edges. A fall like that can end careers, or worse. The music kept playing for a fraction of a second. The lights were still flashing. But the mood shattered instantly. Thousands of people collectively held their breath. Lady Gaga saw it. That's the moment everything changed. In a massive production like this, with loud music and carefully timed choreography, it would be easy to miss something happening at the edge of the stage. It would be easy to stay focused, to let the crew handle it, to trust that protocols would kick in without interrupting the show. Many performers would have done exactly that. Some wouldn't even be criticized for it. Gaga didn't hesitate. She stopped the show. No dramatic announcement. No drawn-out pause. The music cut, and Gaga immediately moved to check on her dancer. In that moment, the entire production faded into the background. The lights, the crowd, the pressure, the expectations, all of it became irrelevant. What mattered was one human being who had just taken a serious fall. That decision told the whole story. In an industry built on momentum and illusion, stopping everything takes courage. There are contracts, schedules, expectations, and thousands of fans watching. There's the fear of killing the energy, disappointing the crowd, or being criticized for breaking the flow. Gaga didn't care. She chose her people. The stadium fell into a rare kind of silence. Not boredom. Not confusion. Concern. Fans weren't chanting or shouting. They were watching closely, hoping for movement, hoping for a sign that the dancer was okay. The rain kept falling, soaking everyone, but nobody left. Entertainment had given way to empathy. Gaga stayed focused on the situation. She didn't rush. She didn't wave it off. She made sure the dancer was being attended to and that safety measures were taken seriously before anything continued. Because stopping once isn't enough if the same danger still exists. The stage was still wet. The conditions were still risky. Something had to change. Those minutes stretched endlessly. The crew moved quickly, adjusting surfaces, reassessing the setup, doing everything they could to reduce the risk. The other dancers stood there knowing it could have been any of them. The fans waited, soaked, tired, but locked in. And Gaga carried the weight of it all. Not just as a performer, but as the leader of the entire production. This is the part people don't always see. Being a superstar isn't just about singing and dancing. It's about making decisions under pressure that affect real lives. It's about knowing when the show matters and when it absolutely does not. In that moment, Gaga wasn't just Lady Gaga the icon. She was a leader responsible for the safety of her team. Eventually, the situation stabilized. The dancer was being taken care of. The stage was adjusted. The question loomed in the air. Do they continue, or do they shut it down? Calling it off would have been understandable. No one would have blamed her. The weather was dangerous. The risk was real. Insurance and legal teams probably would have preferred it. But Gaga and her team chose a different path. Not recklessly. Not blindly. Carefully. The show would go on, but only with added precautions and heightened awareness. When the music finally started again, the reaction was overwhelming. The crowd erupted, not just with excitement, but with respect. This wasn't applause for a pop star hitting a high note. This was appreciation for someone who had just shown them exactly who she is when things fall apart. From that moment on, the concert felt different. Every movement carried more intention. Every step mattered. The dancers performed with heightened caution and quiet determination. Gaga delivered with the same passion, but now layered with something deeper. Gratitude. Focus. Care. The fans felt it too. They weren't just spectators anymore. They were part of something shared. A moment where humanity broke through the spectacle. It would have been easy to let fear end the night. To send everyone home and call it a loss. Instead, everyone involved adapted. That's what turned a potentially tragic incident into a powerful testament to teamwork and resilience. This incident also pulled back the curtain on a truth many fans don't think about. Live performers are athletes. They push their bodies night after night under intense conditions. Add rain, elaborate staging, heavy costumes, and pressure to be perfect, and the margin for error becomes razor thin. The fact that accidents don't happen more often is a credit to the discipline and preparation behind the scenes. But when accidents do happen, responses matter. Too often, the entertainment industry has pushed through injuries, ignored warning signs, and prioritized the show over the people making it happen. Gaga's response set a clear standard. Safety comes first. People come first. Always. For the dancer who fell, the experience must have been surreal. 1 second you're performing in front of tens of thousands, doing what you love. The next, you're falling, disoriented, hurt, unsure of what comes next. And then you realize the entire show has stopped for you. That the artist you're working for is right there making sure you're okay. That kind of support leaves a mark far deeper than any applause. By the end of the night, the rain was still coming down, but the story had already been written. Social media exploded with clips and reactions. Fans praised Gaga not just for her performance, but for her compassion. For choosing humanity over momentum. In a world where image often comes first, that authenticity hit hard. What happened in Sydney became more than a concert moment. It became a reminder of what leadership looks like when everything goes wrong. Of what matters when the lights dim and the music cuts out. Of how true character shows itself not in perfection, but in response. The fans went home soaked, tired, and unforgettable memories in hand. The performers finished the night with renewed respect for one another. And Lady Gaga walked away having done something far more powerful than delivering a flawless show. She showed up as a human being. The music that night was incredible, But it wasn't what people talked about most. What defined the night was the moment everything stopped. The moment care took priority. The moment a superstar reminded everyone that behind the costumes, the fame, and the spectacle, people matter more than anything else. And that's why this night will never be forgotten. This story is far from over, and the truth is still unfolding. I want to hear what you think. Drop your take in the comments. And if you don't want to miss the next twist, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a second of what's coming next.